I just wanted to pop in here for a quick second and say thank you so much. The channel has hit 300 subscribers and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed. If you haven't, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like the content that I share with you. And I love all your likes, and your comments are also very helpful in making the channel successful. So I really appreciate that as well. Thanks so much. Hi everyone, it's Gwen from Hummingbird Tarot, and today I'm doing another version of my RWF Verses, and I just got the Sasarabito deck in the mail. I haven't opened it up yet. I just opened this part here. I had my daughter get in there, but I haven't looked at it yet. I got a great deal on Facebook Marketplace. I bought a used deck, and I'm getting it out for the first time right now, and I'm going to be comparing this against the Universal Weight Tarot deck, which is the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith images, and the Sasarabito deck is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. So let's go ahead and take it out. I've been wanting this deck for a while, but I just couldn't justify spending the money on it, and I got such a great deal on this. I couldn't believe it that I had to go ahead and buy it. So it didn't come with any kind of a book. I don't remember if the original one had one or not. Oh, and this is hard to open. Now, something they did point out in the ad was that the box is torn a little bit here. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's those images. So we are looking at the Sasarabito tarot deck against the Universal Weight Tarot. And I've heard this affectionately called also the Saucy Burrito deck. But so the inside of the box looks like that. Oh, these are pretty cards. Oh, these looked so nice on camera. I didn't think they'd look as good in person, but they do. They're beautiful, the edges here. Here's the outside of the deck. And the Universal Weight Tarot deck comes in your standard tuck box. I wish that more tarot decks would come in these nicer boxes rather than just in these cheap tuck boxes. And it seems almost like every single Oracle deck you buy has the nicer boxes, so I don't know why they can't do that for the tarot decks too. I know I'm sure it's more expensive, but I'd pay a little bit extra to get that. So here we have what the deck looks like on the images. I'm just looking at how thick this deck is. It's a little bit taller than the US Games tarot stock. I'll just show that to you. If you can see, it's a little bit thicker there. The cards are a little more stiff. I don't know if that has to do with the gilding or not. But these are not in order, so I'm just going to pause the recording for a second and put these in the same order that I have my Universal Weight Tarot deck in, and I'll come back with you. Okay, so that took a little bit longer than I was expecting. I got distracted playing with the cards a little bit, and there is a small amount of nudity in the Sasarabito deck, and I went ahead and put little post-it notes over there. I do have a younger audience watching my videos, and so I just like this to be a comfortable and safe place for people of all ages to come for tarot support and education, and just having some fun with the tarot. So when I use decks just for myself, I actually personally don't mind nudity. In fact, some of the most beautiful art there is includes nudity, of the human form in the art, especially when you talk about Michelangelo and the classics. But when it comes to reading and offering services to the public and sharing videos online, for me to do that, sometimes I can find that that is jarring in a reading, and I prefer to not have nudity in those public areas just so that everyone is comfortable and the message that is supposed to be communicated isn't interrupted or tarnished by any of that abruptness that can sometimes enter a reading, that energy when someone's not comfortable with nudity in a deck or nudity in a public space with someone that they don't know. So that's how I personally feel about nudity, and I do my best to not have nudity on my channel at all because of that. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this. I don't want to get on a soapbox here, but the first card, the Fool, and there's a lot of decks that actually include an older person as the Fool, and I've noticed with the people in my life that are older, they care less about what people think and what the right thing to do is, and are back to caring about having fun and the joy of life. So I can definitely see the correlations between using the Fool. I'm sorry, the correlation of having an elderly person portraying the Fool. And I do like the fact, too, that the Sasarabito deck, when I'm flipping through here, and I have seen pictures of it online, too, has a wide diversity of races and body types as well, thin and heavy set. So that's nice to see, because that really is what at least what my world looks like in my neck of the woods. I'm just going to flip through each of these. Oh, I like this. I think I want to say maybe once I've gone through and watched a video all the way through on this deck. So a lot of these I'm seeing for the first time, and this is what I did on some of the for the nudity in the deck, because I just put a little post-it note on there. And when I'm using a deck in the public, I'll use a gold paint pen to add clothes to them, so I don't have to worry about that. But again, like I said, if I haven't decided yet what I'm going to use this deck for just myself or others as well, then that will depend on what I do. And you can see I've added clothes here. Oh, I like this. It's very fierce. I like the energy of it. One of the things I also appreciated about the Sasarabito deck is that it's modern. Unlike the Rider-Waite-Smith. Oh, look at that. That's pretty heavy. I've heard a lot of commentary on this. And I like that it's open to interpretation. You get to decide what that means to you. Sorry if there's any glare here. They do have a fairly shiny finish to them. There's quite a bit of glare from my end, but I'm trying to stop it from y'all. Oh, look at that. I like that this is a warrior, because this one, you're at a crossroads, but really, how prepared are you if you're in soft-soled shoes and a nightgown? Was what that looks like to me. You're definitely more prepared if you're wearing a suit of armor. It's pretty heavy too. Stabbed in the back. Some of these images are very clearly based on Rider-Waite-Smith, and then some of them are veering away from it a little bit and harder to make the connection. Not this one though. This one's so interesting. I have a picture that's like this of me with two of my close friends, and that's what this reminds me of. Definitely would be a sacrifice to cut all your hair off if you weren't wanting to. This is pretty. I really like to do this when I get a new deck. I sit down and I compare it against the Rider-Waite-Smith card by card, just like I'm doing here. But it takes a few minutes to put the cards in order, and if you don't have a deck that you keep in order just for that, then when you get new decks, if you're a collector like me, it's frustrating to take the time to put both decks in order that you want to compare them against. I buy a lot of used tarot decks. Please let me know what you think about buying used decks or this deck here. Do you have this deck? Do you not? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you want it? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I was just noticing here. This looks like the silhouette of a person too back in here, and there's the neckline, maybe a woman shape here. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next time around. Thanks for stopping by.